at least one of the top 3 that's in there.
Yeah. Finally. I can't believe Lena doesn't get as much love when it really, she's a great support, great core, awesome talents.
Do you think her resurgence has come because of things like Phoenix being repicked? Like, you need to have that attack speed. You need to be able to have like some level of stun control.
I feel first very strong in the meta, 100% agree. Especially Undying as well, even Weaver bugs. Like, there's so many hit counter abilities currently active in the early pick stages of most drafts. But it's more the burst damage you apply and the 2.5 second AoE stun from a screen away if you get Aether Lens and the cast range talent, which most players are picking up.
That's right. Just give her the buff up from the IO as well, and then everything's going to be really fantastic for her. That's that burst damage amplified. Or at least changed.
I think it's going to be very important Tigers get off to a good start and can build momentum. You're going to be the way Morph, Pugna, and Necro all function as laners is that if they're ahead, they build that advantage and they become untouchable.
Yeah.
If they fall behind, they look worthless. And it's kind of, that's the way it goes for both drafts here. And against my better judgment, I kind of favor Tigers just because I think that they'll have an easier time pressuring towers. And they can snowball super hard if they get a couple towers in Roche.
Yeah, well, I would have the confidence in Tigers to actually take those fights early on. Their start to today was actually against LGD, and it was all just fight after fight after fight after fight. Like, I think it was something ridiculous, like 32 kills, I think it was, by the 15-minute mark. So, yeah, they are very much willing to be combat. And you were right, it's a Moon Ogre on the off lane to work with the Lena, so we actually get that dual lane. The Lycan will head towards the mid as Monkey King will go safe. So small little bounce ups in the lane, and then that leads up on towards the top lane, the off lane Necrophos. We also have to give a big shout out to Afterlife, who is the only person who is not using his correct name inside the game. He is old, old Aki.
Isn't that what he changed it to then? Because
is that now his new name?
Might be.
We
should respect it.
If I respected that, I would continuously never call EE.
Why?
Because he always changes his bloody in-game name to some anime character.
Hey, he's changing his hair color, new.
What, really?
Yeah, it's green.
Okay. Sure.
Maybe he's going to Optic now.
No. Lion Striker Raid's going to connect again onto Vanscore as all 3 from Tigers coming over, looking for that first blood onto the Bane, and they'll take it. The burnout is actually Moon Meander through the Ignite level 1. He'll claim it, so a little bit of extra cash coming in for the 3 position of Tigers.
That's great. You go to lane, you buy a Quelling Blade and a Wand. It's a great start. It's just a confidence booster. It's about as the dream of any offlaner, really.
Quelling Blade and a Wand is exactly what he did pick up. So,
that's an inventory right there, folks. The mango in the backpack, 2 on the person.
Man, 1437 plays this. This is the way like they also played their Lena, right? Like, it's just you spam every single ability you've got. It's almost like that offlane Zeus that appeared in the offlane for a while.
Yeah, this lane is, again, this is a lane all about tempo. And Lena Ogre, traditionally, if they don't win that initial couple wave, they're in big trouble. But after First Blood, now they're going to get lane control. It's really nice for Tigers. Because Bane Morph eventually pulls very far ahead if they're able to just kind of build that early lead. You can't harass a Bane. And Morph, even with like the strength agi toggle, super high base damage, eventually they win if you can't kill them.
Yep. Bane's already burned through his salve now. I think Moon's caring too much. He's popped a mango, but actually, yeah, pops a mango and then switches the new one in. So such great regeneration, such consistency. And up on top lane, Monkey King's been getting a lot of CS too. Sitting at 9-0 up against the Necro, who's 5-0. Obviously, there's a new creep wave coming in. This is because Tigers was just free to do what they wanted. As bottom lane, 1437 in a lot of trouble, retreating away from the Morphling, but it wasn't possible. And Vanscore body blocks up Moon Meander, and he really just can't outrun this one. For all the regeneration, he's got stick charges. It won't, or will it be enough? Vanscore, he couldn't finish the job just yet. One more attack. Maybe he'll need 2. Maybe he needs 3. Moon will survive.
He did a good job making sure he ate a tango while he was stuck in those trees, and that's that right there is the downside of this bottom lane. They also failed to recognize Gambit hit level 2 first. All of a sudden, Morph has a waveform. Boom. Dead Lina.
Yep. Morph also going for that waveform instead of adapted strike. We've seen, actually it's more adaptive as well as just the morph ability. That's the primary ones.
That's the other downside with the Lina Ogre lane. No real wave clear, so even though they got the kill, there's a double creep wave coming back into them, so they can no longer play aggressive.
Yep.
Top lane, about even. I think the Monkey King Wisp could be doing a little better, but it's a Necro. It's easier said than done.
I'll probably change a little bit more as Monkey moves up in the levels. For now, he's just trying to blend in with his natural surroundings and then attack in towards the Necrophos. They need a little bit of a slow, or the Spirit Balls will help him out. Doesn't actually get the fourth one. He turned around, Wonder Kid, didn't fully commit, and now underneath the tower, he's just able to find the space. Okay, King, he's going to miss with his big stump, but then again, there's so much regeneration with the 4 hit-ups. The Boundless Strike just gets thrown down. This is probably going to be a double. They can keep diving underneath the tower, even with the Death Pulse. Maybe a little bit more careful. Wonder Kid chases around the tower, but we know this Monkey King's really a ranged hero, and he's going to be able to get away so far away with the stuns, tether back down again, and keep the regeneration going with the South.
That was super well done by Zephyr. He actually tanked tower and popped Salve at the same time to activate that dive potential, and then, of course, he has another Salve, because all Wisps nowadays, instead of getting a bunch of stats early, they just bring that regen and then play aggressive. Really cool play there, and that's the power of a Monkey King in the safe lane with the Wisp. You always have that threat where it just feels like Monkey King is like 9 lives. It's a monkey, not a cat, but still.
Yeah, pays off beautifully. The one lane we haven't really been looking at is this one, the mid lane. Ajit versus Afro Ninja. 24-6 versus the 14-6. It doesn't seem to have been a very fun day at all for the Lycan. He's actually about a level and a half behind. Top lane's having more fun too. But remember, it's the regeneration. And the 4 slap-ups. Actually missing with the slap down. Maybe happy about that because the Spike Carapace was up.
No, he got Carapace, yeah. So it healed him, but also, or it doesn't heal him, I guess. I don't actually know how that would function. But yeah, mid.
If you do no damage, like, do you actually get the heal?
Well, it's like it's weird because you did damage, but it's end up to yourself. So. I have honestly no clue. And bang.
1437 had troubles. Nightmare was up, and there's little to nothing Moon Meander can do about that.
Yeah. Regarding the mid matchup, I think Afro Ninja has been overlooked for a while. Been one of the standout CIS players. I think this matchup could be slightly Pugna favored, but mid's so weird nowadays. Like I've never seen Pugna versus Lycan. I never see half the matchups. Like we were talking backstage, I think it was like about Morph versus Monkey King mid. Like who the hell thought these up?
No. Obviously, TNC and Gambit, they're just giving us more taste testers, more information for later on. But you do know the Lycan's going to have a hard time because he's got no D-push himself, so that Tier 1 tower will be under threat just from the continuous blasting.
Yeah, and this already is heavily favoring Gambit. A Pugna mid's so great on Radiant because you can just push that tower so easily, opens up the map significantly. And Tigers, they need momentum to win this game, and so far, they're really just behind in all 3 lanes.
This bottom lane just does not want to stop. The Nightmares just hold back Moon, but it's 1437 doing the range nuke damage.
Jeez, and I completely forgot. Morph can take over Lycan, and you get the Feral Impulse. That's 48% increased base damage on a Morphling that'll be walking around with like 200 agility in the post-mid game.
This gank in towards mid. As it goes into the shapeshift, you want to get some kind of follow-through, but Nyx Assassin still at the Spike Carapace up. Didn't want to go for it. You mentioned the very long cooldown, 2 minutes for it. You used it defensive.
It feels so bad, man.
Yep. And now he doesn't have this. The mid tower is going to be lost again because all Afro's got to do is walk forward and trigger off a blast. The tower is just outside of deny range.
Huntress, that you tank a decrep into a Nyx stun, you might just die to the drain blast. It's a real dangerous position for Roger. And as you see, tower dead 6 minutes into the game. Really well done.
Yeah.
Look at the CS on Afro. I don't think he missed a CS.
He's looking very, very good. And then just rotates, not wanting to wait out. Like, this is one of those games where, like, even at the 5-minute mark, we're not even caring about the bounty runes as much. Like, we went straight past that, just looking towards the pressure inside of lanes.
And this is definitely favoring Gambit. They want to extend the laning phase because they're winning it, and they certainly have a late-game edge. Monkey King, Lycan, these heroes are peaking in the mid-game. They want to control the tempo, get first Aegis, and win on second. If the game continues at this pace, you're going to have big morph problems, not to mention Necropugna, nothing to sneeze at. They're going to just shove down lanes at all times, the burst damage. Until you buy BKB on Monkey, how do you survive? How do you even enter a fight?
I'm very uncertain. I don't even know what Lycan wants to do as he moves towards the top. He's managed to afford a Helm of Dominator inside the jungle, staying close to the top lane. But the Nether Blast has dropped the tower down by about 1/3. Necrophos was farming up in the mid instead while this was going on. And now, okay, the jump in. They just walk up to it. The Nyx stun does create a little bit of space, but not enough. Maybe it will with the Decrepify TP out.
Wow.
They didn't do the damage. They had nothing to go through it, nothing to dispel. Oh, that's going to hurt.
The high-tier hero chat wheels as well. Talentless and better luck next time.
And
well
now you're going to
played.
lose potentially Moon on bottom lane. Morphling was already there, starting with the Adaptive Strike. Help. Monkey King's nearby. He's there for the slap down. Will jump off the tree, but Moon waveform forward. That's going to be enough. Gambit getting the kill into the off lane of the Ogre. And Monkey King just has to have the nightmare that is this game situation.
Toby, Ogre's level 4. Morphling is almost level 8.
Yeah.
That is problematic. And I'm not going to say Moon shouldn't be playing Ogre, which isn't to say his Ogre's bad, but is offlane Ogre a thing?
When the offlane Ogre has like less last hits than the denies of the Morphling, yeah, you can start to question a little bit harder. A triple stun from the Nyx, looking to get back towards his own tower, but that won't happen. They committed once again, shapeshift every 2 minutes.
Yep.
Now at least this one ends with a kill.
Shoes, they've next to no tower pressure unless they just, I guess they're just going to walk down this lane now. But how do you, they have no reach.
You can't push against the Nether Blast. Like, it's going to continuously just clean up the creep wave before it reaches the tower.
And this is my concern whenever you play Wisp drafts with no real lockdown, no hero that's eventually going to itemize for a blink and find catch into reloads. Your only real method of engaging fights is to walk in. And when you have heroes like Pugna Necro that don't die unless you can get on top of them and burst them, you're never going to be able to push if they're ready. Unless you have this crazy backstab, Monkey King leaps in, there's 4 heroes. But that's just unrealistic. You don't want a game plan for a 4-on-1 if you ever want an objective.
Yeah. I don't even know what they're meant to do about this. Like, okay, well, you want to defend against the Pugna who's up on top, but Morphling is still free farming the bottom lane. You got to pick your poison. What's going to be the worst? The smoke gank from Gambit going to miss Moon, as he's already retreated off the top lane. And that's now a ticket for Tigers to move to the bottom lane, but Morphling's also backing up. It is just dodge and evade, but you know Gambit's going to have the better trade-off because they're going to take towers.
I mean, this is one of those scenarios where I go back to the Radiant advantage. I think this top tower that you're taking is so much more valuable than the bottom tower that you're giving up to the Dire. Because Tiger, look at the map control killing Radiant Tier 1 bot gives. It's really none. There's no reason that it would stop you from invading the woods, and it just doesn't change the status quo. Whereas once mid and top tower down is the Radiant side, this one ward they have in the Ancient camp, that pretty much controls 70% of the map. And if they were to do Roche, you now only worry about them coming in from top side, which the pit is closed off to.
I'll keep your eyes on that mid lane, as it will be the movement over. Bane's TP'd into the tier 2 tower, so Vanscore's nearby to help if Wonder Kid did decide to initiate. But it's not stopping Afo. Like, Afo is already moving towards the top lane. He feels very confident. A full Veil of Discord completed already. Got a lot of mana to work with, and yep, Decrepify, amplify him up! And 1437, remember, he's a support. They did get the relocate in. Spike Carapace will not be able to stop his death. So it will be a 1-for-1 trade-off.
But down bottom, they're hunting the relo. I don't know exactly where it was. Yeah, far enough away. They did it up in the tree, so Bane didn't see it.
Yeah, they're also hunting the Lycan, but with the relocate down now, like, it's not stopping Afro from continuing his push.
Yep. It's all coming up roses right now for Gambit, but they will have issues if their supports don't find a little more space. Bane Nyx have no method of killing creeps, and if they don't get tower gold, XP from team fights, they just fall off, and especially a hero like Lycan, you can actually just kill both supports and duration your ultimate very easily, especially the Bane. They need to protect him in order to ensure they have the lockdown to find kills in team fights.
Probably the reason why Bane's holding the hand of Necro. Next Assassin's on the hunt. He's hit level 6, and he's just watching Wonder Kid farming in the jungle. Lina is nearby, so next assassin should be a little bit more careful. They drop down the observer wall 1437. Still under the cover of smoke. He'll break out of that as Afo is going to find him. And this is going to be a potential easy kill, but maybe not. Mumianda, multicast, and they get the Line Strike Array follow-up. And it's Afo who's in trouble getting pincered inside the dire jungle.
Yep. He didn't realize that Ogre was smoked from below, but the problem with that is, yeah, it's a nice kill. Don't get me wrong, but outside of a kill on Pugna, there's nothing else really acquired from Tigers, and it depends on what your read on who wins this into the mid-late game, but I have a strong suspicion that Gambit's lineup, especially just because of that Morphling, you're going to see he's going to get Morph on Lycan at some point and hit for a billion.
Van Skull's preparing the mid. He's got Fiend's Grip available if he wants to go for that one, but we'll see how much damage the Morphling can do. Okay, they'll hold him there anyway. So Moon, even with 1100 HP and 10 armor, it's still not enough to stay alive through that.
Yep. Top lane, Monkey King just bouncing through the trees. Gonna go be Echo Saber first. Man, the problem with Tigers right now is none of their heroes are really having a good enough game.
Oh, he spiked Carapace to stun him instantly as Wonder Kid jumps down. King R was watching him move.
Yep. And that right there just kind of demonstrates. Look at the investment Gambit put in to find a kill. Nick showed up. What did Tigers have to do to find that equal result? Was a smoke, a perfect pincer. Outside of that, they have no method of actually acquiring kills and dominating the map. And they're going to have real issues if they don't turn the heat up stat.
I'm loving Zephyr, who's found his own teammate. If Lycan's not strong enough, he just dominated up a Centaur and is hunting with this.
Interesting.
I love a little combination.
I mean, you can see their concept right now. Look at Lycan's items.
It's create an army. Like it's to build a huge army.
And then buff it. And that could work. They're going to have Monkey King. I've said for a while, you know, the draft right now comes down to who's got the most friends. Tigers, they're doubling down, inviting a hell of a lot of their people to the party, but...
Oh, look towards the mid. Whoa. The jump's going to come in, so will the rest of the team, but Necro, will he survive long enough? The Centaur Stomp keeps him under control, so no ability to get the Ghost Shroud off, and they are charging forward. Army and all, Lycan did the shapeshift, coming in very hard, and the three-man slap down from Wonder Kid. There's just no way for Gambit to retreat back out of it. You said Tigers have to have a good start and then just roll over the top of Gambit. That's literally rolling over the top of him.
And that is exactly what Gambit doesn't want to have happen. Necro was alone at the tower. If there's just a Bane behind him for a bit of a combo breaker, maybe he survives to get some spells off. But if you're Gambit, that is your worst nightmare. You never want to do this follow your buddy into doom scenario because for that 15 to 20 seconds where Tiger's hard committed Lycan ults up, you cannot do anything once a core dies. You need to be a ball, you need to kite, and turn around. And that is not the way to approach fights. Well executed by Tigers. They really needed that engagement. And that mid-tower dying means now Roche is significantly more feasible.
Yep. And they got also all of the runes. Like, if we're looking at Lycan trying to build into fast Necro books, he actually finished the level 2, and he's looking towards Treads because they got all 4 bounty runes in 15 minutes.
What a win. That is the dream, you know. I don't even know if in your dream... Yeah, I'm not going to make the pun. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Insert horrendous dad joke right here. 1437 is going to get caught out. Stun in from King R. He needs to keep that control, and actually he's done the job already. Earn is able to finish that.
Well done.
A little set of banishes. They're not going to look towards the Morphling, or maybe they will. Decrepify was out, just amplifying up the damage, and Moon, no, we just go from having like a fantastic fight where Tigers walk over them, and then you realize still just how much damage Gambit's got, single target.
I remember I talked with Moon after the series. They won at the minor 3-2, and he's like, yeah, we didn't realize till the second time that Na'Vi had figured out how to kill Ogre. Magic damage. Apparently, that's a lesson that may have been forgotten because
they're going to fight again. Spy Carapace stunning up the Yaya who is trying to come over to help. Everyone's down here on bottom lane for Tigers. They want to do the chase. Shift has only just come off cooldown now. But the rest of Gambit's left. At least most of Gambit's left. It looks like once again Necro will be the one to be caught out. Even taunting him. All right, sure.
Yeah, you could see Dexek just drawing a line in a circle. He's like, I don't want to be here. I want to be all the way up top, away from this death ball. And This is a cool smoke. I think it was scouted out by that ward. There's lines across.
It was in range.
Yeah, that's Gambit drawing those lines. They know this is coming.
But what are they exactly going for? Vanscore, well, he's going to break the smoke, push down the observer ward. They slap him down. So Vanscore knew this was coming, but still stuck around. Now,
Do
they
you
didn't
go
burn.
high ground here?
I think so. Like, you've got multiple dominated creeps. You've got a level 2 Necroblock. 17 minutes in.
Crap.
Yeah, they may try and break the base.
This is crazy. And Morph went Lincolns. He will not be a real hero for quite some time. And maybe you just go all in?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, why not?
Yeah, buff up the like and just push. The Die Courier did get sniped out in the way through. That was a level 3 Necroblock that was going to come in, but they're going to commit anyway. Shapeshift up, look for the kill. The multicast stuns onto Necrophos. He had nothing left to give, so he's down, but the buyback is available. The pullback from Io, but Fiend's Grip, Lycan, they need a saving grace. And the Wukong command from Wonderkid, that'll do exactly that. Not to mention the dominated Centaurs and army is still there on the front lines, but it's not enough when the Lycan's already fallen down. Tigers, they're questioning if they really want to go for this one as Moon once again dies. How many times will we save that this time around? As the stun, Io wanted to relocate out. It will not happen, however. Multicast stun out, and Tigers, they have bit off a lot more than they can chew.
Man, well played by King R there. Respect for that. He gets the Courier with the level 3 Necro, which is what they were waiting for to really hard commit. You can see them sort of get caught. They're like, oh shit, Courier's dead. I'll pop Necro now. But as you can see, once Gambit starts their spell casting, they land a couple stuns. Tigers just falls flat. They need to be on the aggressive. They are a tidal wave. You throw up a dam in the way, their whole team fight just disappears.
And Morphling is, like, you said he wasn't going to be a hero because he only just completed up the Lincolns.
Yeah, I was
He's
wrong.
now got 1,800. Like, they just needed to have that one good fight, and this may just be the trickle that makes him a tsunami. Like, Tigers have given a lot of money over thanks to that one fight. He actually got 2 of the streaks too. He got Moon and Ajit.
It's the momentum as well. It's very difficult as a team with a Lycan to be in a position where before 20 minutes you're on a high ground and the enemy team isn't there yet to respond. If they had Necro 3 and they could have just gone hard, that might have been an immediate tower dying, or at least half of its HP. Whereas now, yeah, game's still even, but look where the lanes are. All of a sudden, Radiant's infesting your jungle like termites, and you're never really going to get that pushed in a lane again, I don't feel, unless you win the fight.
Maybe that's when they think towards Roshan. Use him as a bait, or just grab it, wait the 2 minutes out, and then push again once Shapeshift's back up and running. If you can get away with not using it for the Roshan, that's even better. Bounding runes for 20 minutes. It's going to be pretty evenly distributed.
Yeah, and you can again see Daxak just drawing a circle, saying, guys, we're going to mirror their movements, play top, let them run around this bottom area of the map. We don't care because there's no Roshan, and we're not going to give them our tier 3.
They do have to still keep coming down to this bottom lane. So this is the downside of Gambit's. Like, if they do look towards Roshan, if you do look for that extra insurance to go high ground, the dominated army, the Necropooks, you can just keep summoning them, keep pushing, and someone has to come back to defend this.
Yeah, it's well done, though, by Gambit, just itemizing properly. I think Necro going Hood into the Radiance just to secure that late game. Radiance being super effective when all 3 enemy cores are reliant on auto attacks to deal damage. The Pugna going Veil, Aether, Force, just very cheap, affordable items that provide a ton of utility. And the Morph just like, I'm going to go Lincoln Scotty, ensure that we can take this late game.
So all they have to do is just weather the storm.
Yeah. And King R rushing Spirit Vessel, which someone has to do when you're playing a Wisp-like lineup. Like, you cannot afford to let these guys sustain through everything you've got in your arsenal.
Well, he's got 1 charge on it, so they need some kills to make this thing work. Lycan now has that level 3 as the Courier's already come back up again. Io will have a Hood of his own. So rather difficult to kill Io. They have a lot of sustain. But Tigers, like, when's the time? When do you want to try and push this? The Courier's up, your level 3 Necro books are alive. It looks like they're grouping up for a possible smoke. 1437's got 2 of them.
Yep, you got a Glimmer. You've got Echo, almost BKB on Monkey King. Aether Lens, Arcane Rune on Moon.
Spirits hit into Nyx Assassin. They're going to burn off the dust. They need to keep that chase going, staying right on top of the Nyx and the chain stuns. They're pretty good. The dust will last long enough, and another jump back down against by Carapace. He'll return for a double, but it won't matter when the Lycan is there. Yep. Just to munch through them. Now, this is the decision they've got. No Nyx Assassin for 40 seconds. Shapeshift has been burnt.
Straight to Roche.
Yeah, they're coming for it. but they know they'll be watched. They know that they're in there.
Yep. I think if you're Gambit, it's tough. You might want to let this go. You really do. Nyx has no buyback. You don't want to lose heroes here because now it's not just Roche that's going to go down, it's your tier 2 as well.
Morphling's looking at it, and it looks like for the moment they're coming out as 1437, a lot of damage. It was actually Afro Ninja who tried to come up through the mid. Now he's down as well.
That was questionable.
Buyback is available, but it was a half initiation. Morphling was farming agents during this time. He was not really looking to get involved in anything.
Yeah, that's a Monkey King. You can't contest this pit, Gambit. You should really just be getting a free tower bottom or something off of this.
Well, he's going to bounce in as the Monkey King and then bounce straight back out again. Pugnet's going to buy back. They really want to have this, but Wonder Kid, he's going to commit in the Wukong. They jump forward, but easy to dodge the slap down. But Io, at least that's one pick off, but the Aegis Immortal is in the hands of the Monkey King. He'll just pounce himself away. 1437 may be just the casualty they'll have to expect. Both supports to die for the Aegis, and you got to buy back out on the core Pugner. And Monkey King finishes up his BKB for the next engagement.
Yeah, both teams kind of demonstrating a bit why they're in this losers half of the bracket. Miscues on both sides. They're executing as teams, not saying that they're bad, but some miscues. Pugna shouldn't be buying back, and really, they should have punished them better as Tigers, but Wisp's taking topside with 20 HP.
They're actually going to try and force the tier 2 tower, but Tigers, they're wrapping around through the mid. Shapeshift gets burnt, Necro units are flying forward, the Lena's buying back, Io's going to wait for it, he can relocate into the fight straight away anyway, but they haven't got any control. This is the other downside about Tigers' lineup. Even when you pop all your abilities, who do you really find? It's actually going to be the buyback Pugna, down for 75 seconds while they have the Aegis. Shapeshift, remember, it's still on cooldown for now. It's a minute on cooldown, but it may not matter. Monkey King has the Aegis, got a lot of strength, they got a lot of sustain. Now it's Tiger's turn to go high ground and push.
That was really well executed by Tigers. I'm very surprised Gambit got caught. That's a moment, whereas if you're a captain, you got to be saying, be ready to back on a buyback. As soon as you see something in the trees get blasted by the Pugna ward, it's time to hightail out of there. And if you're Morphling, you need to do a better job protecting your Pugna. You know he's the one that bought back. He was the only one that couldn't die, and all of a sudden, you've got an army knocking down your tier 3.
Yep. The Radiance is at least up for the Necro, so there's that missed chance that makes it a little bit harder just to keep pushing into the base. And it's Moon again. How many times must he get caught? Nope. Okay. Nightmare gets taken off. One side of Bash there to remove it. The army is always there for TNC, so the Lords don't have to get hit.
Yeah. And they're in a point now where their cooldowns are coming back up. Both tier 3s, mid and bottom, are very low. And all of a sudden, this is the strength of Lycan lineups.
They found Monkey King. Ooh. They didn't cut the tree, though. They were looking for the 25-minute runes. And it will be 3 of them going to Tigers.
Yeah. Gambit.
Okay, maybe a little bit more. The Fiend's Grip, Lycan, went to Shapeshift. Moon, he needs to actually help out. Is there a stun up towards Vansker? It's just the units. It was the army that was killing him off, and then they just burned through the Morphling. They may find a little bit more, but Wonder Kid, they can't even get that kill.
Wow.
Kingo was trying, but he had nothing left.
And this is the strength of a Lycan lineup, where you can win that one fight, and all of a sudden, they still have time, possibly, to get down to the tier 3 and take it out, just because they push so fast.
And there's no buybacks for all 3 dead Gambit heroes.
Yeah, Morph got caught with that stun from Lena. He did not have his shapeshift up, so he just died in the stun lock.
Oy.
That is an oi indeed.
Well, that comes straight up the mid lane. Like at this point, maybe Io starts thinking about tethering somebody else. He did actually still go. He went for the Spirit Hero damage. He didn't even go for the Aghanims upgrade. They are just amping up the damage, looking for the push, the pressure, as hard as they can apply it. Necros are on cooldown for 20 seconds time, so once the Morphling's up, it's 5 seconds, and everything's already back. But it looks like, a little bit too close for Necro. Nightmare is on Moon Meander. They'll get the follow-up stun. Wonder Kid thinking about committing into the Wukong Sumas. The Reaper Scythe comes in, but they can't drain enough life out of Moon. They had Glimmer Cape to protect him, not to mention the Io will just relocate them back out again. So if they want to fight, they can fight, but the Necros are up. Shapeshift's on cooldown for 7 more seconds. I think Tigers actually want this. They want Gambit to come out and take the fight, but it's just a little bit too far away. And actually, they didn't bring Moon back. He TP'd over. So they can just reposition and Tigers can pressure again, or they can just shrine and go somewhere else.
Yeah, well done. That was really well executed by Tigers. I think Gambit, they were thinking about contesting, but that was super dangerous because Monkey King loves when you group up in a circle and he can drop down the stone monkeys. And that was Very close to disaster for Gambit. BKB now on Lycan, BKB on Monkey King, Scotty Morphling. You can't end the game here if you're Tigers, but you never really intended to. I think they've done their job. They got so many towers, they're able to take shrines, and that second Roche, Aegis Monkey, Cheese Lycan, that's when they're going to look to win the game.
Yeah, especially now they've got both BKBs up. Lycan had his arrive, Monkey King's got his. Necro, he's, Nyx is looking for a target. He'll find Io, who's a little miss speedy boots at the moment. Not to mention his damage output. He uses the Spike Carapace to stun off the Spirit, as then here comes the Morphling. Io, remember, he's still so damn tanky. A perfect movement of the Alpha Wolf, so it's just an easy tether away. Needed no other help. However, Wonder Kid, he needs help. Moon cannot provide it, so the Aegis Immortal, it will crack. Watch for 1437 stun. He's looking to try and create a little bit more space. Monkey King now has the PKB. He'll burn it and into the Wukong command. Do they want to stick around? They don't have a choice. When the slap comes in from Monkey King, they just walk away. Okay, sure. Yeah, no control, remember? Gotta remember that point.
Indeed, and that's the concern, is that it's really about both teams making mistakes more so than anything else. And it's just because both teams really don't have the ability to make the plays happen for themselves. A fight's going to come down to who gets overrun and whether or not Tigers overextends in their pursuit. So it's not really a game where, yeah, it's just a mistake. It's a mistake-friendly game. Like, that's what we're going to be looking to see. There isn't much you can do as a Lycan to win the game for your team other than chase.
And survive. King R's right behind him, Ajit. He's pretty close back towards the tier 3 tower, and the rest of his support, they bounce forward, and they know Wonder Kid is up on the hill, bounces down. Netherward's in a good position. Moon's going to jump forward, looking for the multicast. Nice 4-staff, gets Vanscore out of trouble, out of the reaches of the Lina, who you know is just itching to get the quick and easy Laguna Blade kill, but the tier 2 tower is dropping pretty quickly. But Gambit waveforms away as the fortification keeps Tigers' buildings alive.
And the Pugnaward's, nope, not quite dead.
Not yet. 16 seconds till shapeshift. Nyx? My bad. Yeah. He's dead for 40 seconds. Buyback's at least up. But in the words of another caster who's attending this event, that was questionable to say the least.
I think it was questionable at the best. But you were close. We were talking about the voice lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I memorized them for the most part because I was so happy to get my own.
You got your own?
Yeah.
What did you have?
That's playing to win, babe.
That's okay.
That doesn't count? It's not good enough, Toby?
No, I'm not.
It was my first time, Tobes. I haven't been able to get lucky.
No.
5 years in a row.
It all just sounded like an Owen line, so I just gave it to Owen.
All right.
The push down, they're just all on the retreat. Bane's down already. Underneath the tier 2 tower, Gambit will feel a little safer, especially as Moon. You can always rely on him to be a little bit closer to present as a target, and they jump in. It's the Monkey King stolen from Morph. That allowed him to get a little bit closer. As he jumps once again, they'll break the Lincoln Sphere. He'll jump down too, but Lycan wants to fight, triggering the BKB as Morphling waveforms away. Under the Netherward, Tigers a little uncertain about being involved.
Yeah, and you can see already like the issues with the draft. Just when Ogre and Nyx, for both of their respective teams, are the only people capable of beginning fights. So when Ogre's out of mana, all of a sudden Tigers has no real method of chasing. Yeah, your Lycan's BKB'd, but Necro just goes, oh, I don't want to be here anymore, and starts waddling away. And there isn't really a damn thing you can do to stop him. It's going to come down to the second Roche fight, as it feels like every game does.
Well, we'll have him up in 20 seconds' time, so we're already in that 3-minute bracket. So all the teams will be looking, and what a perfect time for Monkey King to pick up a double damage rune and bottle it. Like, he can save it for when Roshan's up, and it only takes one minion. Like, they just send one unit into Roshan to scout it, and I'm fairly certain Tigers have a fair few spare.
You're pretty happy with this position, I believe, if you're Tigers. Gambit, I don't even know if you mind either. What's the win probability at?
It's
pretty even, yeah?
It can still swing either way.
But I think it's telling that even though Tigers has picked up the last 8 kills.
They put down the sentry ward. They saw the Nyx Assassin trying to close the distance. There's also the fact that they were level 3 Necropooks. That's why they saw him in the first place. Got to wait out the Spire Carapace, but it's everybody onto Nyx Assassin. As Roshan is spawning, The timing couldn't be any better for them. If only they knew. Someone's going to walk in. Moon, have a look. Have a squiz.
Didn't that happen last time too? Wasn't
Yeah,
he the one
it
that got
did.
picked off?
Yeah, it was. Oh, was it him or Necro? Oh, no, it was Pugner running up the mid looking for the kill. Now, Fiend's Grip, that stun, Moon Meander has the Blink Dagger, that's why he can help out so quickly. They really can't kill off the Io. With all the damage they have, they cannot bring down this Io.
I really like what Zephyr's done here. Picks up a Wolf Creep. It's one big benefit of the double helm, is that you can get these really value creeps.
I also just love the fact, too, that he knows the creep will have the movement speed, so he's gone no boots on this IO. Everything else is just so efficient. So he's like, oh, sorry, as long as I'm tethered to something, I'll still move at the right pace.
Yep. And, you know, he's not really playing to tether a teammate anymore. And I think that's fine in a game like this. He's super farmed.
It feels like a mid IO kind of style. Like, this is a carry IO.
Yeah, and I think it's fine. Like, you're going the spirit damage instead of the Ag's tether. And, again, 1,500 damage to heroes if you hit the 2 rounds of balls on one. Like, that's a lot, especially when you consider Moon's got a Veil. And he's blinking into stun for you.
Wonder Kid just jumped so deep looking for something, but they don't want to fight this. Gambit are not in position to do it. Like, Afro's pushing the bottom tier 2 tower. You had Morph, who was off farming elsewhere.
He's so close to that butterfly. Daxak really wants to pick that up. But look at this. Tiger's already on the high ground.
Yeah, they're coming in.
What? You got to get back? That's a DD monkey.
That is a DD monkey. He's just ripping through it. But now, maybe, well, it's Nightmares. They're looking towards the mid lane. Vanscore, he's pretty damn low. Has to brain up to get some life back, but it's more trouble for the Morphling. Further up the lane, Laguna Blade, they perfectly break the linkers so they can get that big burst damage in. And Gambit, how many times must we see this where it's just one player who's just caught out of position in the retreat? They had a concept. I think it was just a delay and do the split push, but Tigers, they're willing to push, and they have the damage to follow it up. Not to mention the life.
I mean, they don't have cooldowns yet, but they just do so much damage, Toby. Like, I don't really know what's going on with Gambit. They keep getting caught with their pants down. Daxak in the mid lane, like, there's no way you can die there as a Morphling. It really shouldn't be possible, but just gets caught napping, and Tigers have plenty of lockdown and magic damage just thanks to the Ogre Lina. And that Glimmer Cape, by the way, on 1437 has paid huge dividends already. I've seen him save 3 allies.
He's saved Moon 3 times with that, just that. Like, they're coming back in again. Tigers, like, funny enough, like, they know Roshan's up. They knew he was going to be up sort of anyway, but they still didn't go for it instantly. They've been looking for the fight that Gambit will offer them. Now they'll start Roshan. A little bit more questionable at the timing because Morphling is up in 10.
And not just that, but like, what were they doing for the last 40 seconds after they killed Morph? Right? Why wasn't it an immediate rush to the pit? It just they just seem a step slower than you would hope for a team that's really thinking and hoping that they can claw into that tier 2, tier 1 category. But it's got to be a little smoother.
A team that's looking to actually be a proper competitor here at the major. Pugner's already added a lot of pressure on bottom lane. But Tigers, you know, they could just break down mid. Shapeshift's off cooldown. Necrobook, however, is not. But they find their target. There's already Io. A quick jump. Moon, he saw this one coming. They just use Io as bait. And Vanscore, he'll Nightmare himself to create some space, but that's all he'll create. Allowing the rest of his team to back off.
But man, this is where the bloodlust starts kind of getting out of control. You can see Monkey King and Lycan are so fast. And they hit very hard already. They're going to finish up an AC on Lycan. Monkey King just got his Scotty. They've got Aegis. They've got Cheese.
And they have another
This is the window.
They have another DD rune.
Yeah. Everything going their way. This was always going to be the window Tigers wanted to win the game. I think 10K is a perfect amount of advantage to close out. And the Morph just now finishing a Butterfly, but I just don't think he's going to be able to stay in a team fight long enough to deal damage.
I also just want to give big props. Like, this is now the second time we've seen it. Moon giving up his bottle in order to ensure the Monkey King can have that DD rune until the right time. That's what added the pressure on the top lane. It's what helped catch out the Morphling as they retreated. As Gambit was like, well, we didn't realize this was really coming our way.
Yeah, and I said Tigers had a 20-second fight window to win.
Oh,
that's plenty now.
That plus 50% crit, hoping on the Boundless Strike just to slap out Gambit.
And Morph is still top trying to split push.
Getting rid of any kind of detection, any kind of vision, any kind of racks. Finally, the Shapeshift is going to be burnt, and the Wukong command, they want to commit it just so they can take out the racks without any kind of real problem. Either that or they're just baiting him because they've killed off the Bane. Buyback is up and used.
top,
There's a quick little retreat. You're right, Morphling. He's bringing down the tier 3 tower. I think Tiger's a little bit worried about this, but relocate. Io, as well as the Monkey King, will come back to defend it. That this is not part of the plan. Now it's Io who's going to be right on top of the entire Gambit lineup. Morphling has come back. Does he bring Monkey King with him? No, he doesn't. The perfect stun time as well. And they use the Reaper Scythe. 2 minutes on the sideline.
Oh, no.
And the rest of Tigers, they didn't retreat. They're still here for the fight. And 1437 almost kills himself on the Netherward. In fact, he will do so. The Spirit Vessel is ticking him out for the moment. The Glimmer Cape's adding some level of protection. And it'll actually be enough. He'll get away to safety. I am really surprised the Tigers didn't have heavy casualties then.
Yeah, and well done by Gambit as well, holding the base. What?
He walked into the shrine while they're shrining, and Tigers just took him.
Oof. King R, you know, he's got a couple elements of the Nyx Assassin down, but so far, I believe he was the one that died and led to that first Roche and the second Roche, and he's just, you know, you gotta use alternate pathways as an assassin type hero, okay? You wouldn't be a ninja where you'd knock on the front door and try to break into somebody's house, okay? At least try a window. You can't walk up blind high grounds.
He can't walk up anywhere there. There's 3 sentry wards watching every single angle around that area. Like, it's the proper triangle.
And Tigers a bit caught off guard there. That's part of why I like to see Dire teams play the top shrine area of Radiant. It's not just controlling Roach, but that's the area, that's the high ground that gives you the ability to cut mid and top. And those are the valuable lanes. It's always easy to catch bottom wave, and Radiant very rarely is going to be split pushing in their own safe lane. But if you don't catch that top wave here and there, all of a sudden your tier 3 Aegis push to end the game is foiled by just a pesky Morphling who he's just farming top.
Oh, Moon, he's going to find a target, looking over towards the Morphling, as they'll actually send him up and towards the air into a Wukong command. The hold, they need to keep him there, but the stun. Lina can't instantly follow through with the nuke. Now she'll get it out, and it's all about the killing of the Morphling. 90 seconds. He just bought Butterfly before. That's the reason why he does not have buyback available. King R needed to create some level of space, enough to get himself out to safety. And I think it's really Appa who's currently saving this game, forcing TPs back to the base to defend once again this top lane of Rax and to count down this insanely long death timer.
That's a bit of an experience from Ajit, and specifically in your dream though, because yeah, the Lycan should TP back maybe, but there's no need for Monkey King to be there. He should have been catching mid-wave. They're now going to be a full 30 seconds behind because it wasn't caught.
Van Score came in to give a little bit of extra, I don't know, counter.
These kills don't matter though. You don't care about the Bane. You need to be pushing down a lane. And look at mid. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They should be pushing with the wave before this if possible. And now there's only 35 seconds left on the morph, and this is your one wave to do it.
And there's still going to be like 20 seconds of travel time for the creep wave to reach the base. So you've really got a 10-second window once you arrive.
Yep.
But the Monkey King has, he's actually no, the Aegis Immortal is timed out. So, all right.
They also, no Aegis now. There's a glyph active on Radiant. You're going to be fighting 5-on-5 here.
Yep, they're going to try and force it just straight through, looking for the earlier stuns, the slamp down onto the Pugner, and now Necros as well as Shapeshift form. Running forward, it's difficult still underneath the Radiance. They're uncertain about this. Fortification's up. Again, they're going to have to commit the Wukong command just to create that perimeter to take the mid lane of Rax, but this seems to be so much harder for them where they've committed so many abilities. The Gambit, they smoke up. Now they want to try and find some kills of the retreating Tigers. They will not seem to find any, as it's just blink and run.
You'll take that?
They'll take the Sata. They'll take the... Got him. Yeah, got him.
They made it in time. I was really concerned that they would be threatened with a fight there, maybe baited in to take it. And, you know, you're always going to get the racks, but you wanted to ensure you did it without the expense of losing a core. They managed to do so, and now they just got to keep the momentum going. Roche spawns in 2 to 5 minutes. You're reaching sort of peak efficiency on a lot of your heroes. Nullifier will be the next item pick up on Lycan. I love that choice. One of the only, really the only item you can buy that purges outside of the Necro. And all of a sudden, Ghost Shroud, defensive decrep, Jules, they don't do anything to stop you.
See if he's able to survive long enough to get the money and then still actually have the surplus, because at the moment his surplus is 2.2. So he needs a lot more cash. But they nudge down the mid. Now they've actually got the racks broken on the mid. This will force Gambit into a little bit more of a defensive nature. even though they continuously push in that top lane. Shapeshift, looking for a target on Necro. And not just looking, they're properly committing. Is he looking for a 4-star up? I think he was hoping that Alpha was going to 4-star into him, but yeah, King R.
What's he doing over there?
Creating a tourist guide of the Dire Jungle.
It seems dangerous. I wouldn't venture into that forest alone.
Oh,
You're going to get a free ward too.
What do we got for... So Roshan may spawn in 45 seconds. So that'll be the next. That'll be the third thing. So then we start adding Refresher Shard to the mix too.
Yep.
Not that I like. Who's that really help though? It's like is it Monkey?
Yeah.
You want to go twice?
Or like it really. I mean,
it's like Lycan for double shapeshift.
I feel like you just go top, drop Monkey King ult, then go bottom, refresh, rinse, repeat. You can also just play with like. I mean, it's really their call. I think you go by Nullifier here if you are Ajit. You're not in a position, I don't feel, where Gambit threatens your base by winning just the one fight. Morph almost going to have a BKB, but will it be enough? Tigers is they're that one step ahead as far as damage output that they have so much in that 15-20 second window of Lycan ult, Monkey King ult that they're going to kill your Rax. And you can't walk into the circle of doom just yet if you're Gambit. You need a fatter Morphling.
Yeah. I would also like to see, like, speaking of fat, Ogre, to actually switch the Hood of Defiance. Like, he's holding the gem at the moment. And I think he's doing it so Zephyr can hold the cheese. And they will actually have double cheese coming into the next engagement if Tigers can secure Roshan.
Yep, the sustain of Tigers specifically is just unbelievable at the moment. And not only are they going to get Roche in how long exactly? We'll get a time.
They may find the opening. Alpha was just looking to come out to blast the mid lane and try and add a little bit of pressure the opposite direction. He'll have to force off and continue his run, but that's why you got the Boundless Strike. Just slap from a very long range. And Pugna down for 84 seconds instantly. Morphling to the bottom lane. They want to have this pressure. They need to have this pressure. Nyx is sitting behind them too. And TNC, that damage output from the Morph is real high. They have to be concerned, but they're committing. They're going for the tier 3 tower on bottom. Monkey King, he's going to hold the top lane against the Morphling, but that's why King R is here to lem the stun with the slap. Do they have enough to actually kill off Wonder Kid? Not when Io tethers in to be there to help him out. You're going to try and kill off, in fact, will kill off King R himself. Meanwhile, on the bottom, it's all about the pressure back from Tigers. They couldn't kill anybody as they came outside the base. King R will die on the bottom lane finally.
Wow.
But this is just Gambit dying on two sides of the map to a split force of TNC, of Tigers.
That was pretty much flawless play from Tigers, punishing the Morph as best they can. They forced double buyback on the cores. No buyback on any of the heroes dead right now. For Gambit, I mean, this might be over. Monkey King's on his way back. They're not even 5, and they're still killing this Rax.
Well, they try, they commit, they jump forward. No Reaper's Scythe to get that instant kill. Even if they did, the Glimmer saves, the follow-up stuns, and this really is it. Necro's down, Morphling sent up. GG is called. Game 1 belongs to Tigers over Gambit.
Yep. That was such a strange game. I don't want to take anything away from Tigers, but it really felt like they just capitalized on a lot of mistakes, mostly from King R's.